really does fuel his game.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
the question is can Christopher match Usmakabyle? We know
that Christopher PW was a part of that first goal is all crucial in pretty much every game he plays, and it's going to be absolutely no different here. But as I said, I think Usmakabyle is on some unreal vein of form right now, and Chris, we are underway already.
Oh, it's going to be an interesting one, and you will be able to hear the Portuguese casters and our mics once again. They're not biased at all, I promise. No, they are. They're horribly biased.
Yeah, one thing to note, Chris, of course, you mentioned about a bit of bad blood, but it's more the fact that they've played, they've trained with each other over the years as well, because they've been on the scene so much that they pretty much know each other's game inside out. So that's why, if the first goal again could be crucial to negotiate that sort of swing of the game from there.
Well, Christopher will be in the Arsenal home kit from left to right, and an aggressive retake by Usmakabyle. And look at that ball through. He's shooting from right to left, and he's nearly found the bottom left corner with his first attack of the game. And it was an aggressive interception out of defence that started things off here. Flip ball through, heads it down. It was nearly the perfect start from the Frenchman.
Well, we've seen time and time again from ESRB and Usmakabyle as well in this competition that first goal comes so early. And for me, Chris, that was a huge let-off. You'd expect him to score.
Yeah, you really, really would. And it would be such a crucial time to score it as well. Now the way Christopher does survive the first scare of probably many, let's be honest, Usmakabyle, we know how good he is on the attack, and he will have other opportunities.
Just 10 minutes gone here, and it will be Christopher PW to mount his first real attack of the match. Completely shut up shop though defensively, Usmakabyle.
Torreira in the middle now. Christopher playing that, I don't want to say slow, but I want to say methodical way that he does play.
It's almost a stagnation tactic. He tries to take, especially against players like Usmakabyle, he wants to take the complete sting out of the game, because if it's end-to-end free-flowing, he feels, and I think most of us feel, that it's only going to be the Frenchman that's going to win it.
No real good attack coming from Christopher quite yet. Usmakabyle already had his good chance pretty early on. Over to Aubameyang now. He does actually have runners on the right-hand side. He spotted John Jules. He has Aubameyang in the middle. Koscielny goes to cover. Kolasinac gets across, but they can't get there in time. The Frenchman, Usmakabyle, takes the lead in the second semi-final. And he's not bothered. Look at him. He's relaxed.
First blood to the back-to-back world champion in 15-16. Back this year with a bang as well in terms of form. And what's so surprising, Chris, is how open Christopher PW has been. It's almost like you expected him to sit very deep and allow Usmakabyle to have all of the possession to try and frustrate him, but he's playing right into his hands here, letting him play on the counter-attack.
He tried to cover it with Kolasinac, and in the end, he can't get there in time, or he did get there, and it just goes through his legs in the end. John Jules pass, nutmegs him, and then Aubameyang slots it past Czech in his front post. And the trademark celebration comes through, and once again, Usmakabyle is the first one to score. It always seems to be the case in all of his games.
Yeah, and we said how important the first goal might prove to be. A let-off after just 8 minutes for Christopher PW, but he gets no second reprieve.
Not at all. There you go, you're just bringing out the big words now. Saved that for the second semi-final, did you?
Absolutely. 20 minutes gone here, and it is the Frenchman who has taken the lead. And we've said that Christopher PW, if he's to get anything from most of the games he plays, he tends to like to go in front and then stifle the opposition. He's going to have to do the complete opposite here.
He's found himself behind Kolasinac, getting forward here for Usmakabyle. He not only has an aggressive demeanour, he defends and attacks aggressively as well, flying into challenges that some players would fly into that sort of thing and make the wrong call, and they'd fly in and find themselves in the quarter position. He doesn't do that though. When he defends aggressively, he makes the right call. It's always calculated, and finds himself with a lead, not just due to that, due to his all-round play. 24 minutes gone. Yeah,
there's no surprise that the two players we've been waxing lyrical about today, Etorito and Usmakabyle, have, for me, similar sort of playing styles, especially today anyway, in terms of that suffocating press and the quick free-flowing football on the counter-attack, as well as Maitland-Niles picks it up and has a chance to jink inside. Now in towards Aubameyang, chance to cross it in, chance for Danny Welbeck, saved by the goalkeeper. Almost turned home. What a double save, Chris.
Petr Cech to the rescue. In the end, he is offside for the second one. It's tough to take.
Reflexes from the old man. Can I say old man? That's a bit disrespectful,
you can say old man.
In terms of footballing terms.
He's ancient. Socrates will win that header, and once again, Christopher will retain the ball. Very much likes to play in possession, and right now he's not having the best of luck at getting that. Good football by the Frenchman, Usmakabyle, though, trying to keep a hold of it in the middle. Christopher will somehow get a free kick. 29 minutes gone, though. It's been a relatively even game. You would like to think that Usmakabyle has had the better run of things, of course, with his 1-0 lead. However, Christopher has had his chances.
Yeah, and that's a promising chance that he just had there. The double save, of course, albeit with the offside decision, but you certainly wouldn't be too disheartened after 30 minutes if you were the French/Portuguese player. Of course, he has a bit of a dual heritage and has played for Boa Vista in the eFootball Pro as well, whereas Usmakabyle was part of the AS Monaco contingent, and it is Maitland-Niles who picks it up and finds Lacazette back to Aubameyang. Now Maitland-Niles plays in towards Danny Welbeck. Really good play from Christopher PW on this occasion. No final pass, though.
Not quite there. Just a little bit wanting. It seems to be that last pass from Christopher that is eluding him at this moment in time. Iwobi with the ball forward, though. Not going to quite get there. Koscielny just about gets there in time. It will be Iwobi to take this corner as well. There's another opportunity for Usmakabyle that hasn't quite able to find that second dagger in, though. 35 minutes gone. It's going to be a driven corner in towards the front post. Cech gets to it, but he's just put it into the path of Danny Welbeck, of all people. Usmakabyle will take that second goal all day long. He might have had most of the pressure. That second goal is fortunate, but he will take that. Yeah. No problems whatsoever.
You'd be disappointed if you're Christopher PW, because the ball that gets fizzed in by Maitland-Niles is just pushed by Petr Cech straight into the path of Danny Welbeck at the back post. He makes absolutely no mistake, and that second goal cushion might just be enough to create that mouth-watering final of Eterito versus Usmakabyle.
Oh, it will be special if we get it. Of course, either one of these players deserving of a spot in that grand final. They both played fantastically up to this point. Usmakabyle well and truly in the driving seat here, though, in semi-final number 2. Look at the runs coming in here as well from Iwobi. Lays it off to Aubameyang, and the problem is for Christopher now is he has to start sending resources forward. He has to stop, not pouring for it, but he really does need a goal shortly. If he starts doing that, he starts creating spaces in his defence. But speaking of spaces in defence, there's quite a few in Usmakabyle. That was a bold header back.
Is that calm? Is that? I mean, wow, that takes some doing from Usmakabyle. But at 2-0, the only one thing promising for Christopher PW is the fact that Usmakabyle, quote me if I'm wrong, especially today, he's had, other than the 0-0 at the start of proceedings, he generally has conceded. So, I mean, to concede 2 is still a tall order, but certainly not home and hosed yet.
Yeah, oh, he might find a third here as well. If not but 4, a fantastic stop by Cech once again. Look at this for a save. A third, you feel as if this one may have been over. 2 is achievable, but if Cech doesn't save that, it's a mountain to climb for Christopher.
Yeah, I'm still a bit surprised at how Christopher PW has approached this game, because, like I said at the start, I expected him to, you know, give a lot of possession away to Usmakabyle and almost try and frustrate him and take the sting out of the game. But he's done the opposite here, and now Aubameyang at the near post steals in for 3-0. Is that game over, Chris?
It may well be. There's been times where we've seen that driven corner come in, and Christopher does not send the man over to cover it. It stings the palms of Cech in the end, and he just can't get a hold of it. He can't get a hold of it. Aubameyang is there. That is 3. And that may well be it. Usmakabyle with a dominant first half. He scored it in the last kick of the game. And we said that Christopher's had 64% possession, but what's he done with it? And maybe one opportunity that he's had. Usmakabyle has made every single touch of that ball count so far.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to use the cliche 9/10 of the law possession, of course, but that has been the case for Christopher PW, and Usmakabyle, on the other hand, has probably had maybe 3 at a push, 4 chances. He's taken 2, and you can only see currently right now, oh, in fact 3, what am I talking about? You can only see 1 winner at this moment in time. Another really flex of the muscles from the Frenchman.
Yeah, and now we get to the point where Christopher has to send men forward.
I'd love to see a prediction if it does stay the same of the final score of the final, the amount of goals that could be on show, or will it go the other way and be dull as dishwater? We will wait and see, of course.
I don't think so. I think we're going to see plenty of goals. Oh my God, here we go though. This might be another, and it is. Usmakabyle is really turning it on now. An absolutely sensational goal. And he's making it look easy. He doesn't even seem bothered on the stage there. And it's becoming a one-sided affair. Fantastic play through Aubameyang as per usual. And at the back post is Maitland-Niles.
Yeah, I know. We saw Eterito do this 5-0 in the quarterfinals, I believe. And Usmakabyle is doing a similar thing here, and to see him pretty much dispatch of Christopher PW as easy as it's been so far. We talk about sending shockwaves. Eterito will feel a bit of electricity in his chair right now.
Bit of electricity in his chair.
Shockwaves.
Shockwaves, okay.
Yep. Come on, go with the script, Chris, come on. 2 minutes into the second half, and what does he do now? Does he go for consolation? Does he try and keep the respectable scoreline, or does he have to just keep going for it?
He has to go for it. What have you got to lose apart from conceding more goals and a bit of an embarrassing scoreline? Like, what's the point? Nobody remembers how many you lose by in the semi-final, just apart from yourself. So you need to go for it. You know, Christopher here, you really do need to start, as he said, flexing his muscles. He needs to get something going really quickly. I'd be making subs, I'd be making tactical changes, I'd be sending everybody, the tea lady, the coaching staff forward at this point. Welbeck is going to receive the ball on this left-hand side. Kolasinac now. And so Ramsey can't find the ball through here. And it just, nothing seems to be working for Christopher at this point. Everything he's thrown at him, Usmakabyle has had an answer. Does he have an answer here? Lacazette inside the box to Maitland-Niles, back to Lacazette, surely a goal. But where has that been the rest of the game from Christopher? Is there potential for him to get back into this game now? You feel as if it's too tall of a mountain to climb now, but
I mean, it's the age-old question, Chris. Like you said, where has that been in the opening 60 minutes, really? Because that was absolutely breathtaking football as played in towards Lacazette, and then the 1-2 there, which pretty much nobody saw other than Chris himself, and he even completely confused Usmakabyle, one of the PES League greats. And is it too late? You've got to feel it is, but having said that, if you could get a second now in quick succession, we've seen it happen.
We have.
Have we seen it happen against Usmakabyle? Possibly
Yeah.
not, but never say never.
We know he can concede goals. We absolutely know that he does bleed, but I think it's a case of trading punches, and he always seems to be the one that hits a few more times.
Does indeed, and needs to apply a bit of Vaseline to that cut above the brow right now, just to stop that second goal going in. Of course, you'd be pretty, I mean, if you're Usmakabyle now, you'd probably, certainly if you were Christopher, you'd take the sting out of the game if you were on the other side and be winning 4-1. But Usmakabyle, not that sort of player, but at this sort of stage in a competition, you kind of have to, don't you?
Yeah. And you feel like he will just take his time. I don't think for a second he isn't going to think about attacking, but he will go about it in whichever way that he wants at this point with 58 minutes gone. Not a great deal of time remaining, and he will just take his time with these attacks. No need to rush anything. Waste as much time as possible while maybe trying to score another. I'm sure he would love to re-establish that 4-goal lead. Pause has been cued by one of these teams as Usmakabyle now at 4-1 up. And starting time west.
Yeah, and as things stand, we are going to crown a third-time world champion, whether that's Eterito in 2011, I believe, 2017, no, 2018, should I say, whereas Usmakabyle 2015, 16. So both of them looking for that hat-trick, and what a final it promises to be. Having said that, we've still got 25 minutes or so to negotiate here for the Frenchman to go through, and it was a risky pass there, Chris.
Yeah, a little bit risky, but either way, I don't think Usmakabyle is phased right now at all. Torreira will get the ball off him, and Christopher will try to start an attack. That pause is cued, but that ball through to Aubameyang's pretty tasty, to be honest with you, and the spin of it just takes it back to check. There'll be a throw-in in a good position here for Christopher, but he needs to send men forward. It's about 50-50 possession now. Let's just see the changes coming in.
The neutral wants a second goal here for Christopher.
I want a second goal here for Christopher.
Are you a neutral then?
Yes.
You just proved my point. What's he going to do, Chris? How's he going to change this? Because we haven't seen Christopher during the competition make too many big tactical changes. Is that something he needs to do now?
Yeah, you feel as if he does. 3 goals need to be scored pretty quickly. And you know what? He's not a player who scores a shed load of goals, really, either.
Quite tight, his games, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh, you just don't. It would take something to get this done. It would go down in the history of PES League if it does happen.
I think going into the game, like we said, most people had Usmakabyle just to shade it, but certainly now you'd have to be probably a 99% of the population would say that he is going to go through. So if that were to happen and we see a turnaround, it would be truly historic. Still, we await the restart of play because it's Usmakabyle by the looks of things again. You know, we see players use this over the PES League, that change of momentum, or to stifle the change of momentum, because at this moment in time, you know, Christopher just wants to restart the game, doesn't he?
Just wants to get things going here. He's changing his formations around, in and out of possession. Changes, of course. Here we go. Not long left, 22 minutes of in-game time.
Can the fresh legs do?
He needs a goal now.
What they've done before.
He needs a goal right this minute. Bellerin to Aubameyang.
Well, that's not happened, Chris.
No, it hasn't happened. And it was a challenging ball, to say the least. One that you just didn't feel was ever going to pay off. And KTR now here for Usmakabyle to put probably the final nail in the coffin if he does manage to score. He's done ever so well. It just sends 2 players there for an early bath, if anything. Still just playing with them. Socrates eventually comes away with the ball, but time wasted is detrimental towards Christopher. Ramsey sends it forward towards Nketiah. Can he get away? He cannot. The first touch is just not there, and the defenders come screaming back. 4-1, 75 minutes gone. There's only one way this is going now, Adam.
Yeah, there is, and there's one thing I want to know, and I'd like to hear from Chris after the game. I'm not sure whether we will be able to. I wouldn't have thought so with the time, but I want to know whether it was intentional to go out and start this game as he did, because I feel there's been a change of tactic in this game. I don't know whether he felt that he needed to go and try and phase Usmakabyle and take the game to Usmakabyle because of how usually he plays, and try and, you know, completely befuddle him, should I say. But it hasn't worked anyway, and he's just played completely into Usmakabyl's hands.
And look at the men forward here for Christopher, though. Has to send them forward, and KTR now, absolutely nobody with him, turns it round, left foot shot, great goal. 4-2 now. Not long left to play, though. That's the problem. For all it is only a 2-goal deficit now, you just feel as if he's run out of time.
You do, but
it's a good goal.
Again, we have to say never in the PES League. We've seen time and time again how games can change in a matter of seconds, let alone minutes. You feel Usmakabyle has the quality to see this game out, but it's still been really impressive from Christopher PW to get 2 goals back from 4-0 down. And, well, are we going to see, Chris, that story that'll go down for generations?
Well, let's see. And the problem is for me here, if you are a fan of Christopher, is that stemmed from a Usmakabyle attack, where he had a counter-attack of his own going there.
It's 9 minutes, Chris.
Is he going to give us that other opportunity, though? Yes, 9 minutes plus stoppage time.
And now look at the changes are being rung here. Is that a phrase? I know ringing the changes is a phrase.
Yeah, so if they are being rung,
yeah,
it's currently happening. Present time.
There you go. I'll take that. I'm pretty sure I said quack on commentary earlier anyway,
well
so yeah, I think anything up from that is a bonus, as we're just watching the final changes come in. And I mean, this is 9 minutes that are going to go on if you're Usmakabyle, like a full 90, whereas if you're Christopher, it's going to go in seconds, isn't it?
Yeah. The thing is that you feel as if he needs to get this ball back quickly and get a goal within the next 5 in-game minutes to give himself a chance here. And it's always going to be difficult when Aubameyang's there, and the ball into the box is relatively decent, but that will give Christopher an opportunity for Czech to boot this one up, and KTR wins it. John Jules now.
I'm really surprised at the experience of these players, that how they've not when they've got possession late on, gone to the corners and tried to stifle the game. They're giving possession away time and time again.
Well, I thought that was an offside call, but it isn't. It is going to be a free kick to Christopher. 40 yards out, 45 maybe.
Is something brewing, Chris? This could be. I mean, if this goes
goal,
in,
yeah,
this goes in, the whole auditorium is going to go up, and I mean, anything's possible from then.
Oh, Katie loses it straight away, but it falls to Koscielny. Like I said, is he pulling his way through? Oh my God! Look at, what is going on? It goes out for a corner ball to Christopher.
I'm not quite sure what happened. I jumped on your back there, Chris. I do apologise. 5 minutes remaining, and I thought that was going to loop in.
Ramsey to take this one.
Just 4 minutes, and he's. I mean, even this is how good Chris is at. I mean, nothing is. You know, he plans every single move and every decision to the nth degree. Unfortunately for him, it hasn't paid off, and surely Usmakabyle can fire downfield. And is he the only man upfield? Yes, he is. It's Aubameyang. The defence are gone. The goalkeeper is off his line. Can he finish this game off to 5-2? It is all over here. And the 2015-2016 world champion Usmakabyle, the Frenchman, will be going into the world final here and will play against last year's world champion Etorito.
And that is the problem if you are Christopher, if you aren't taking your chances and putting that ball back on the halfway line. Usmakabyle is there to counter-attack. He'll take that goal, and Christopher will be heavily disappointed, especially with the first half. He's had a breath of life, if you like, in the second. But it's just been too little too late, and when you send everybody forward, there's nobody left at home to defend this goal. Checks at sea. The ball's in the back of the net. Usmakabyle is in the grand finals.
I was so surprised by that corner from Christopher, to be honest, because I said how he plans and maps out everything. Usmakabyle read it. I mean, again, another cliche, but he read it like the easiest book of the lot. It was telegraphed from the Frenchman, and then he just went on the counter-attack defence all over the place. Well, non-existent, really, and Petacek helpless in his net. 2 minutes from the end of the game here, and surely it's game over.
Ketia going for a shot from the edge of the 18-yard box. We go into stoppage time now. Christopher has had a good tournament. He's battled his way here to the semi-finals, but Usmakabyle has been relentless today. Oh. He's been fantastic in the attack, and every time he goes forward, he looks like he's going to score. And as you said, a mouth-watering grand final awaits him. He will play against Etorito in what will be a sensational game. We'll see goals, we've seen goals there, but a great performance from him. 5-2, a deserved finalist here in London.
Indeed.